Hello, my name is Pastor Kris Kollar. I'm the pastor of Pleasant Valley Lutheran Church near Malabar Farm State Park and St. Paul Lutheran Church in Lucas, Ohio. Greetings. We are reading through the Bible with commentary, and we are in the book of Psalms. And 2 sessions ago, 2 and 3 sessions ago, we did the longest psalm, Psalm 119, 176 verses. And we did it in 2 sessions, which was perhaps should have done it in 3. But oh well. We are now up to the next section, which is not one psalm, it's 15 psalms, but it's 15 psalms that are all called a Song of Ascent. And the idea that as you ascend up into Jerusalem, then you would be using these songs. They were songs for pilgrims. And the songs, some of them talk about going up. If you go to Jerusalem, it's always up. Jerusalem itself is on a mountain ridge, and the Temple Hill Mount was built on a small mountain, Mount Moriah or Mount Zion. So to go up to the temple meant going up. And to this day, if you go to Israel and you're on a tour and they take you to that area, you will go up and up and up, and it helps if you have good health. So as the pilgrims were going to Jerusalem, they had this set of songs, these songs of ascent. Some of them were about going up, some of them are blessings, some of them are, it's all the things that we've heard all the way through the book of Psalms. Laments, praises, saying how David has established the kingdom, how David has established the worship, how wonderful it is to worship God, and praise of God and praise of the temple and praise of just all of the regular things that we've heard in the book of Psalms. But these are a particular set of psalms known as the Songs of Ascent. Yesterday we did Psalm 120 through 125. Today I believe we're going to be able to get through 126 to 134, which would be the other half of the Songs of Ascent. Some of them are not very long. So, Psalm 126, a Song of Ascent. Verse 1, When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with shouts of joy. Then it was said among the nations, The Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us, and we rejoiced. Restore our fortunes, O Lord, like the watercourses and the Negeb, that's a desert. May those who sow in tears reap with shouts of joy. Those who go out weeping, bearing the seed for sowing, shall come home with shouts of joy, carrying their sheaves. Many years ago, I used to go to a Messianic church on Saturdays, and they had wonderful music, and I believe that's where I heard this psalm as a song. When the Lord restored and I shouldn't even try to sing it, but basically it's the entire psalm done, set to music, and just a wonderful, wonderful song. Then our mouth was filled with laughter. And I'm just off tune. I'm not even going to be able to sing it today, I don't think. But the idea that we were like those who dream, and our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with shouts of joy. Then we said among the nations, the Lord, why am I so off key today? I don't know. The Lord has done great things for them. We are glad. And then it gets really slow. Restore our fortunes, O God, like the streams in the Negev. And it's just this wonderful Messianic Israeli kind of tune, plays perfect with a band, with a clarinet, and it's just a fun song. But it's a song that is saying, those who go out weeping, bearing sow, will come back with shouts of joy, carrying the sheaves, that God has restored the people and restored the nation. Psalm 127, a Song of Ascent of Solomon. And I have heard this verse many times. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. And I'm listening to this wonderful book by Eugene Peterson talking about all of the stories from David. And I'm wishing I had read it before we read through the David stories, because there's so many great things that I could have shared as I was reading through. But that one verse, the idea that it needs to be God doing the building and not ourselves, and how we can get caught up in, I'm going to do this thing for God. God does not need us to do anything. We need to let God do the work. And when God does the work, then it will get built. And if God is not the one building, then whatever we're building or whatever we're working on, it's in vain. Unless the Lord guards the city, the guard keeps watch in vain. Verse 2, it is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives sleep to his beloved. So if you're getting up early and staying up late and working really hard, God gives rest to the ones he loves, and God is the one that builds the city, guards the city, does the things. Verse 3, sons are indeed an heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the sons of one's youth. Happy is the man who has his quiver full of them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate. So the first half of the psalm, all about how unless God's doing it, it's pointless. And then the second half, a comment about how wonderful it is to have kids and a heritage and future, and this idea that kids are like arrows in your quiver, and happy is the man who has a quiver full of them. And perhaps you have heard of the quiverful movement. Perhaps you have not. If you have not, it's a movement which is basically here that this says it is good to have many kids, so we're going to have as many kids as possible. And families that are part of the quiverful movement will have well over 12 children, many children, like 20 children if they can. They'll have as many children as they possibly can, and they're part of the quiverful movement. Just because you're blessed to have many children does not mean that you have to have many children in order to get blessed. God blesses his people, and that's what he says earlier, that he gives sleep to his beloved. Whether you have 0 children or many children, God gives sleep to his beloved. God blesses the ones that are righteous and are striving to walk in his way and walk in his strength and walk in his ability, that let God do the work and we come along for the ride. Those are the ones that God blesses. And often he blesses them with children, but not always. And I have known people who desperately wanted to have children and could not. I desperately wanted to have children and got very fortunate and ended up with twins. But not everybody gets that. And does that mean God doesn't love those people? Of course not. It does not mean that. And if you have 20 children, that's wonderful. But it doesn't mean that God blesses you 20 times more than a person who has none. It doesn't work quite like that. So, some things to think about. Psalm 128, a Song of Ascent, verse 1. Happy is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in his ways. You shall eat the fruit of the labor of your hands. You shall be happy, and it shall go well with you. And there's that word happy we've talked about before in the Psalms, Ashra or Asher. And happy is an okay translation, but it's not a sufficient translation. It's happy, blessed, prosperous, satisfied, joyful. It's all of those. It's so much more than just happy. But someone who walks in the fear of the Lord, who walks in God's ways, who cares about what the Lord wants and is going to let the Lord guide their life and control their life, will be Asherah. Asherah will be happy, blessed, satisfied, wonderful. Verse 3, your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your children will be like olive shoots around your table. Thus shall the man be blessed who fears the Lord. The Lord bless you from Zion. May you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. May you see your children's children. Peace be upon Israel. This beautiful blessing, that the Lord would bless you, that you would see prosperity all the days of your life, and that you would see your grandchildren. And that is, of course, a blessing that most of us want to see our grandchildren. Psalm 129, a Song of Ascent. Often they have attacked me from my youth. Let Israel now say, often have they attacked me from my youth, yet they have not prevailed against me. Verse 3, the plowers plowed on my back. They made their furrows long. The Lord is righteous. He has cut the cord of the wicked. May all who hate Zion be put to shame and turned backward. Let them be like the grass on the housetops that withers before it grows up, with which reapers do not fill their hands, or binders of sheaves their arms. Just this wonderful picture. So a house in Israel, especially during Bible times, a house in Israel was a flat roof. And so the lower level would have a kitchen and a stable and either stairs or a ladder going up to the main level. Main level would either be one big room known as the upper room, also known as the inn. And if the family was well off and the house was large, it might have a private room in the back for the owners of the house, a bedroom, or it might not. And then there would be a ladder or stairs up to the roof of the house, which is required by law, the Deuteronomistic law, to have a parapet around it so that people don't fall off the roof. But you've got a lot of people and a not very big house, you need a little more space, you go up on the roof. You need to work in some daylight, you go up on the roof. You have grain to dry out, you might put it up on the roof. There's several times when we hear about flax being up on the roof. And if you do that with grain, some of the grass might start growing, but it doesn't grow very much. Many, many years ago, my father had a pickup truck that had like a little space behind the seat. It wasn't like actual seats, but there was some extra space behind the front seat, and he would put bags of feed for the cows and other things. And at one point, some water had gotten into the truck, and there was a stalk of corn growing behind my father's front seat of his truck. And of course, it never grew to full height. It never was able to be like harvested. It just was growing there in the back of the seat, behind the front seat. And that's the idea here, that there's grass growing on a roof, but that roof, the grass on the roof never grows to full height. It never gets harvested or made into a sheaf. And this is what they're saying for the wicked, that they might be like grass growing on the roof, or corn growing behind my father's truck seat. That all who hate Zion be put to shame and turn backward. Let them be like grass on housetops that withers before it grows up, which reapers do not fill their hands, binders of sheaves their arms. So just a piece of grass that's just gone. You can't even harvest it. It's not any use at all. While those who pass by do not say, "The blessing of the Lord be upon you. We bless you in the name of the Lord." So we want the wicked to be like the grass and to never get that blessing. Psalm 130, a song of ascents. Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my supplications. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, Lord, who could stand? But there is forgiveness with you, so that you may be revered. I wait for the Lord. My soul waits. In his word I hope. My soul waits for the Lord, more than those who watch for the morning, more than those who watch for the morning. So this was originally a song, and it's got that repetition like a song might have. O Israel, hope in the Lord, for with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with him is great power to redeem. It is he who will redeem Israel from all its iniquities. Another one that I have heard songs out of, and just as beautiful. This one is a bit more of a lament, crying out to God, Lord, hear my voice, be attentive. And Lord, if you were to mark iniquity, that is sin, who could stand? But there is forgiveness with the Lord. And so this person says, my soul waits for the Lord, more than watchmen for the morning. So it's your turn to stand guard over the town. And if you're waiting for morning when your turn is up, you're waiting and waiting for that morning to come, and your guard duty would be over. And this last verse 8, it is he who will redeem Israel from all its iniquities. It's beautiful. Psalm 131, a song of ascents of David. O Lord, my heart is not lifted up, my eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great and too marvelous for me, but I have calmed and quieted my soul, like a weaned child with its mother. My soul is like the weaned child that is with me. Or my soul within me is like a weaned child. It could be translated either way. With this beautiful picture, I've not put myself up too high, and I am quiet like a child in their mother's lap. Not a fussy baby, but a child that's a little bit bigger, but how they cling on their mom sometimes, don't they? And that is how the psalmist says, my soul is like a child resting on its mother's lap. O Israel, hope in the Lord from this time on and forevermore. Psalm 132, just a beautiful psalm. Without even reading it, I recognize the number and I just know it's a wonderful psalm. And this one is a song of ascents, but it's also talking about David and the temple. O Lord, remember in David's favor all the hardships he endured, how he swore to the Lord and vowed to the Mighty One of Jacob, I will not enter my house or get into my bed. I will not give sleep to my eyes or slumber to my eyelids until I find a place for the Lord, a dwelling place for the Mighty One of Jacob. So the idea of David was determined to find a place to bring the Ark of the Covenant and give it a home. Verse 6, we heard of it in Ephrathah. We found it in the fields of Jaar. Let us go to his dwelling place. Let us worship at his footstool. So the Ark of the Covenant, this beautiful box that was a wooden box completely covered with gold, about 4 feet long, 1.5 feet square, solid gold cover that looked like two angels facing each other. The Ark of the Covenant for a long time was in Kiriath Jearim and then was brought from there into Jerusalem. Verse 8, rise up, O Lord, and go to your resting place, you and the ark of your might. Let your priests be clothed with righteousness, and let your faithful shout for joy. For your servant David's sake, do not turn away from the face of your anointed one. The Lord swore to David a sure oath, from which he will not turn back. One of the sons of your body I will set on your throne. If your sons keep my covenant and my decrees that I shall teach them, their sons also forevermore shall sit on your throne. I'm thinking this was not the psalm I thought it was. Verse 13, for the Lord has chosen Zion. He has desired it for his habitation. This is my resting place forever. Here I will reside, for I have desired it. I will abundantly bless its provisions. I will satisfy its poor with bread. Its priests I will clothe with salvation, and its faithful will shout for joy. Verse 17, there I will cause a horn to sprout up for David. I prepared a lamp for my anointed one. His enemies I will clothe with disgrace, but on him his crown will gleam. Yeah, this is definitely not the psalm I was thinking of. I think that must be Psalm 32, not 132. But the footnotes say that this possibly was used like an annual remembrance of when they brought the Ark of the Covenant from Kiriath Jearim back to or into Jerusalem to set up worship in Jerusalem. Before they even had the temple built, it was there with a tent that they found a place for it to be. And that this song might have been used every year to commemorate the bringing of the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem and the setting up of the worship there, and certainly celebrating King David and his presence. So, 2 more, but the second one is so short. Psalm 133, a song of ascents. How very good and pleasant it is when kindred live together in unity. It is like precious oil on the head, running down upon the beard, on the beard of Aaron, running down over the collar of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord ordained his blessing, life forevermore. So Psalm 133 has only got 3 verses, and actually Psalm 134 has also got just 3 verses. This one saying how wonderful it is when people live together in unity. How wonderful is it? It's like oil running down. And we don't, I don't want to get my clothes dirty. I wouldn't want oil all over my clothes. But the idea that when Aaron or another priest were to be anointed, would be anointed with oil, a lot of oil, and the oil would run down and be generous and would get in his beard. And then it is like the dew of Hermon, that would be Mount Hermon, that the water falls and fills the springs, and the Lord has ordained the blessings of Jerusalem, basically. Last one of the Songs of Ascent, Psalm 134. Come, bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, you who stand by night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, bless you from Zion. So the last of the Songs of Ascent is a blessing that is calling for people, come bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by night in the house of the Lord. Lift your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord, maker of heaven and earth, bless you from Zion, bless you from Jerusalem. And maybe I should use that blessing instead of, I always say, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord look at you with favor and give you peace. And may the Lord, maker of heaven and earth, bless you from Zion. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace, like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.